Hello again, this is Priscilla Batzell. I'm in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Fluid Art Studio. That's a 12-inch by 16-inch canvas and a few of my little tools and a part of a butter dish, now for tools. Some acetate cards, somewhat clean, and some paint chips. And clear playing cards. You could use cardboard. I don't think it's a problem. I'm going to put those aside for a moment. And for the Colourarte educational event, the Spring Abundance, I used a canvas that was freshly painted with a wet white background. I'm going to try it on the dry one. But I think what I want to do is use my Chantilly lace and a bunch of patterns that I might be able to utilize to pull my swipe colors down. And I have no idea how this is going to go, and I should have some idea because I know I've done something similar to this. I do know I need enough paint where I start my swipe to be able to pull it down or up or all around. So I'm using Prizm pour colors and Primary Elements and Vivid Intense Fluorescence and a rogue element, which is the Pebeo blue-green Iridescent, which is one of my favorites. And the ones that are going to be hidden the most I'm going to probably put on the bottom. So I'm going to that's the Pebeo first. And I want to do it with a really simple color palette, which may or may not work. We'll see. So that'll be the most hidden. I want to use some of my Royal Sapphire. I want to use a series of turquoises with some copper and some of the red violet. That's the Vivid Intense from Colourarte that's new right now. Just been released. Some of which I used. The Vivid Intense and the Vivid Intense Fluorescence are both pretty much new. I'm going to use some Amethyste Queen, which is from the Fairy Tales, Primary Elements. And I'm not feeling like I'm getting enough paint yet, but I think I will. I have convinced myself I will. I hope I will. I can always keep adding paint, so that's really not an issue. It's whether I can swipe out fast enough to keep the paint from drying. So I'm going to save my favorite for last. And this is Burnished Copper. This is a Prizm pour. And I can't wait to see how this looks. It's looking a little darker than I anticipated. Makes me want to look and see if I've got something else that's in a similar family other than Nickel Azo Gold. I have something pretty here. It's Emperor's Gold. It's looking very coppery. It's another Prizm pour. I'll just combine those two colors. I think I'm going to like that a lot. I wasn't going to use any gold. And I hope I have enough colors. I'm really inclined to keep adding colors. Well, we'll just wait and see, because I can always add more purple. This is going to be the telling factor. The fluorescent red violet. Do I have enough colors? I'm really kind of inclined on grabbing some Cerulean blue is where my brain is calling me to. This is pretty strong and it looks like I just mixed something up. This is a Prizm pour. I think that's exactly what I needed. My inclination is to just keep adding colors until I'm super thrilled, but I want to see what happens. With it the way it is right now. So let me grab my largest tool. Actually, let me grab my playing card because I think that's where I want to start. And then I'll use my swipe tool. My acetate tools will have a tutorial to help create them. I'm going to use the black and the white Amsterdam black and white cell activator that's made with Aussie Floetrol. Now because the canvas is dry, I need to be a little more conscious of where things go. And I think in this case, because I like the paint, and I want to be more conscious of where things go, I'm going to use my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatula. And use up my residual paint. For that, I'm definitely thinking I want to grab a little bit. I'm going to use one of my scrape dishes and put some cell activator right in there. Take a medium size acetate tool. Move my card out of the way. Oh, the acetate tool works really nice. As long as you're conscious and aware. Now I did pre-paint my canvas white, so it's a bit smoother than it would be, and not quite as matte as it would be if it came out of the store. I want to use more. I'm just going to use a different scrape dish, I think. Take the colors off because I can always use my extra colors on the edges or whatever. I didn't use any white, so I'm not going to use white again. I want this from a different direction. You can definitely use them like brushes and nudge things. That was a little risky. I only had a little bit of cell activator left on my tool. But as long as it's wet, I suppose I could go through again. That's all that Chantilly lace over here. I think I'm going to bring some of it down and use it. Add a little spiral. I like spiraling into white. It's dramatic. And I like taking residual paint that's left on my tools and using them too. That's not unattractive. I like that. Put that paint right down there. And use it. Yeah, that doesn't bother me a bit. So I'm going to wipe off my tool this time because there's not that much left on there. And I want to get on with this. I'm kind of wishing that I had thought about maybe using the quinacridone nickel azo gold. And I can definitely come back into my paint and steal some. Pretty much any way I like, because I'll be swiping through it and it won't show. So this was a perfect place to spiral, I thought, as was this. And I think I'm going to utilize my tools and put a few dots in here and there. Another good place to spiral. And every time you spiral, you have leftover paint to dot. I love dots. I really do. So scrape off, wipe off, start again. I think I'm going to risk a little more white cell activator because I only did it with the card to to begin with. So I'm wondering if that's the problem, because I got plenty of cells. Could be that it's a little old too. So you saw me go back in and grab a little more paint. I'm quiet because I get focused. I like the black too, but I don't mind dredging up a little bit of color and dragging it in there and leaving a black spiral. That's pretty awesome. I don't recall having done that a whole lot of times. The black and the white create great contrast. But I gotta keep moving. I'm kind of wishing I had some orange, but you know what? I can add orange afterwards, is what I'm thinking. I definitely don't think that the white is all that helpful. And I kind of want to do another card swipe. But I gotta keep moving while the paint is somewhat fresh. And you gotta not mind some rough spots like that, because they just add texture to the whole design. So I use Vivid Polypore and Vivid Enamel both to mix my paints with. And a little Jawsonia Gloss Varnish and 25% GAC 800. Oh, I like that. A little more black cell activator. A little more red violet. And it will freshen up my paint a little bit. How about a little bit? Oh, this is Snapdragon. This is a Prizm, excuse me, this is a primary element, very similar to the Amethyst Queen. I've got my smaller, I'm going to grab the card again. I said I would, and I'm going to. I've got a fairly good dip. I want extra. I'm not saying you don't have to be careful if you're going to use a card, because I really think it's important that you be conscious of the marks you're making. Alright, so I've got leftover paint, which I happen to love, which wouldn't be bad almost anywhere. Where am I going to put it? Right there. Scrape off my Princeton Art Catalyst spatula. They're on the Amazon link. I love, there's like 7 of them. I like 6. And what did I do with my really large, I've disappeared my larger swiping tool, and somebody can see it, but it's not me. That's irritating. I got little ones. There it is. I put it under a bottle. Wow. Okay. Looks like I haven't even used it yet. This one needs a little pressure to begin the process and the spin. And then you got to be ready for that edge. And I'm just going to keep right on using my leftover colors. Put them all down. Someplace I can utilize them. So that's, now that I've had the big one and had my little hissy fit, I think it's the medium-sized one that's working best for me. So I'm going to do that again. I spun that one right around. And I like the idea of going to the edge, so I might use some of the colors that I have in my dish just to go to the edge in a few places. That's my timer telling me I've got 3 minutes left. Less the time I spent talking about it. I do like picking up paint and pulling it out with my... This is looking pretty sharp, actually. I'm going to use the rest of that, which I could definitely use to do what I did on the edge, which I kind of want to do someplace else also. Alright, I'm going to have to move a bottle out of the way. I'm going to grab my colors. Not that there are very many of them left, honestly, because I've been using them right up as I go. And if I don't have enough color, I can A, steal some, or B, just add some right back onto the canvas. I want something up here, and I think I'm going to have to make it happen if I want it to happen. So there's some more. That's the Amethyst Queen. I don't want to do that. Did I use the vivid blue green? I didn't. I don't know if I did or not, but it's similar enough to everything else, so it's in my hand. There's the Pebeo Iridescent blue green. And here is the red violet again. And I'm going to scrape off my tool. Not that I think it really makes any difference at this point, to tell you the truth, but I want to be pretty sure I'm getting what I want. Which was that. If you scrape down a canvas and it's white, then you know it's the primed area. I want to take that off with my spatula again. Such pretty colors. So I should tell you guys I do sell my artwork, and I'd like to. I have 30 playlists of 100 videos, and also they're separated in topic and genre, so if you ever want something, just let me know and I'd be happy to help you. I got 1 minute left, and probably less. So please give me a thumbs up when you share my videos. You help me out, and I really appreciate it. When you shop my Amazon link, it's on the link tree, along with Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter links, and Facebook group, Expressionist Fluid Art Studio Appreciation Group, Pixels.com, Fire Night America, Society 6. If you'd like to see any of my designs transposed and added to anything on one of those places, just let me know. I might add a few more dots. I'm going to try and shimmer this at you before you're gone, which requires me to get up on my ladder, and that'll be a moment. It's different, and it's pretty. And my camera battery looks like it wants to die too. So I love you guys. I hope you come again. I post at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And check out my paint pouring recipe. It's underneath Show More. Please, if you'd like to be a member, it's $9.99 a month, and you have access to a members-only library of over 110 videos. What else can I tell you? I've forgotten everything suddenly. I love you guys. I hope you